Hello, people. Welcome back to another awesome video game playthrough by yours truly. So, words cannot describe the shock of the total and complete failure, the complete choke that I had during my last attempt. To make it to the very end, to make it to the very end, and to go out like that, it was devastating. Honestly, I thought about just not even trying again. And not that I'm a sore loser. That's not it. It's just when you get that close, it's almost like what else do you have to prove? I'm even now as I sit here, it's like, do I really want to try it again? Because I feel like even if even if I get it, let's say I go ahead and I finally pull it off. I don't like. Am I gonna be as satisfied as I would have been had I did it last night? And I think that's the thing. As I sit here, I'm just like, because it was just to get that close and to know exactly why you failed. It was the smallest detail that I overlooked. It was a small oversight. That one straight hit from that Camaro that threw off all my planning and preparation and practice. And again, I sit here and I'm like, do I really want to try again? Do I really want to try again? Like, what do I have to gain? Right? What do I have to prove? What do I have to gain? And I'm trying to think of a reason. I'm trying to think of a reason to to do this. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, why? Why try again? Why try it again? And it just, I can't help but think of speed runners because they go through shit like this all the time, but times 100. Because this isn't a speed run. This is a simple self-imposed challenge of trying to play through the entire game on the hardest mode, without dying or saving. Right? It's a simple, self-imposed challenge, and it doesn't compare to what's the pain and failure of the hardcore speed runners, and even people who just do simple, like no damage or tight playthroughs. Doesn't compare to that. But this was like my first time like really challenging myself like that, like no save and all, that type of thing. And it's like when you fail after hours of working on something and then everything that you did is essentially erased, outside of the novelty of people being able to enjoy your failure, right? Look, I'm not blind to the reality. In the world of entertainment, sometimes your failures can be profitable. So, I do see the value of that, but still to have to get up and do all of it again, it really makes me appreciate what speedrunners go through, what people who do stuff like this go through, and beyond what I'm attempting. Because this is really this isn't exactly like the extremes that I've seen other people do, as far as like self-imposed video game challenges. So why try again? And the only thing I keep seeing in my head is that title, Resident Evil 1 Arrange Mode, Jill, no save, no death. It's that title. It's like it's that title, man. It's like the belt. It's the heavyweight championship belt. It's the WWE belt, tag team title, intercontinental, whatever. It's that belt, man. It's that title to say that you did something special. You did something that a lot of other players uh, weren't able to do or didn't even attempt to do. I dared to be great and I failed and I failed and I failed. But I'm gonna put it like this. I'm a raise the stakes. I'm gonna raise the stakes. If I fail this time, I'm just putting the game back on the shelf. I'm not saying that I'm never gonna attempt it again. Cause I thought I wouldn't last night. Now I'm up and I halfway wanna try again. And that halfway might be the reason for my demise. But I gotta satisfy that itch. I gotta satisfy that urge. It's thundering outside, and it's almost like the mansion is calling me again. It's calling me again, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it, and it is what it is. I'm gonna go for it again. I want that title. I want to have that under my belt. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. This isn't flying out into space. This isn't, inventing something amazing or making a cool song. But I want that title because so often I play video games and I just play them. I enjoy them, I move on. But how often do we as gamers really dare to go beyond? How often do we dare to be great? And for the first time, I really feel like I felt that pain, that pain of daring to be great and failing. And so this will be my last attempt for now. For now. So here we go. Let me make sure the volume is good.
What is this?
Oh shit.
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room.
Well, here we go.
What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
So here we go again. Isn't it wonderful? I still got some sports beans. These sports beans are actually like a good snack though. I'm realizing that. They're a good snack for gaming, sweet, especially modified for giving you a little boost.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Energizing jelly beans.
What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature.
Maybe by
Anyway,
this creature.
let's report this to Wesker.
Forgive me if I'm a bit melancholy today. You know, it's gonna take a while before I get really into it because, you know, it's the
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
it's the whole process of having to start from the beginning. Especially having to endure like these early cutscenes and shit.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall.
You know, there were quite a few
This
games
time I'll be there.
during this era where you couldn't skip cutscenes, and I always wonder, like, what was that conversation like? Like, who was the one who was able to make that type of decision? Because at some point, somebody had to suggest, we're going to allow them to be able to skip cutscenes, right? And then somebody has to interject and say no. I mean, you think about it. That would have made speedrunning this game a lot easier for speedrunners, that is. Because I just realized, like, those cutscenes, like, we're already 10 minutes in. We're 10 minutes in, and if I was able to skip those cutscenes, that would have took off at least about, like, 9 minutes or something. Maybe like what, 8? About 8. It's about 8 minutes of cutscene. Okay. Gonna go ahead and grab this map here. I mean, obviously my route, it's not like it's the most efficient or anything like that. You know, the whole point is just to get through the game under my self-imposed conditions. Oh shit. Oh, I already made a little mistake there. See, I kind of hesitated. One thing I thought about was maybe like going back through the door, and then that would basically de-aggro the dog. And I could get the clip without killing him. Then I thought I better just go ahead and kill him anyway. And so by the time I went forward, he was already coming towards me. Let me see. Well, we took damage already. No biggie. Well, didn't get lucky with a headshot though. Not quite like I did last time, but oh well. All right, so next we're gonna go get the shotgun. One thing I gotta make sure is that I don't forget the little things. That's very important, because a lot of times when you get defeated by something very particular, it stands out in your mind and you keep thinking about it, and then you forget the other things that you got to look out for. You know, that's something that's very important. If I spend all my time thinking about the tyrant fight, I'll forget about the other little things that are just as important to get through this.
Hey, what's going on?
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down.
Hurry! This way!
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just thought about
I
something
just
too.
had something I wanted to
Barry
check.
didn't know what was going
Now,
on in there.
let's get back
He
to
just knew
searching
it was
for the lost
urgent.
captain and Chris, shall we?
So he kicked the door open, and then she ran out, and then he sees the ceiling come down like that.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, if I would have saw that, I would have been like, what the fuck? I'd be like, damn, you were almost a Jill sandwich. That's why he said it. Don't forget the little things. Come on, man. I'm not getting any, like, oh, there we go. Oh, I was just about to say I'm not getting any luck with headshots. You dead, son? Okay. Alright. Now it's time for the old young puzzle. That's what I call it. Man, it's storming hard out there. Let me see. 2. 4. 5. 3. 1. 6. 7. Okay, we got that. Alright, so next we are going to the save room. I was looking around trying to find like some old survival horror games that I could maybe play. I got my eyes on a couple of games, but you know, survival horror games, they tend to, like older survival horror games tend to be expensive for whatever reason. Well, obviously because, you know, rarity. But even some of the ones that aren't that good, you know. I really regret a lot of the games that I sold over the years, man. But you know, one of my dreams is to get my hands on you know, a legit physical copy of a lot of the games that I love, especially like survival horror games in particular. Yeah. I was able to get my hands on Resident Evil Outbreak Foul 1, but Foul 2 is hard to find, and when you do, it's pretty expensive for an old game. It's like on average it's gonna be about $50. That's the price of a new modern a new modern day game. So
Barry!
I forgot about this scene.
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
I just noticed the
Thank
intense
you.
reverb
I'll take this then.
applied to the vocals. But I get it. It's supposed to convey the ambience and the space of the mansion. I do sound work too. Okay, now we're going to the closet room. That's what I call it. Because that's where you use the closet key, so. It's so satisfying using a new key. That never gets old. Okay. I feel like my luck with the handgun headshots has not been very good. But we got a lot of game to go, so. Oh, damn. Is he dead? Nope. And dead. Punch jump up to get beat down. Very off topic, but you know, there's the episode of Martin where he ended up fighting Thomas Hearns and getting knocked out, and his face was all swole at the end. Probably one of the best Martin episodes, one of the most memorable episodes, a complete favorite of the fans of the series. But what's funny about it to me now, looking back, is that when I was a kid, I didn't know who Thomas Hearns was. I thought he was just like some actor. I thought he was just some actor playing a boxer. I had no idea who he was. And then years later, when I started watching boxing, I learned that, you know, he was one of the top fighters of the 80s. Alongside Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, you know, the Four Kings. Let me see. Save. All right, we're going back. to the save room. So when I went back to look at it, it was it hit way different. So I was like, oh, I know who this guy. I know who this guy was. And then the joke that Martin said to him, he said, "I talked to Sugar. He called you to get Hitman," because Thomas Hearn's nickname was Hitman, and Sugar Ray Leonard had defeated him in probably the most significant fight of his career, arguably. You know, I was thinking about Thomas Hearns, and you know, he had a fantastic career. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like his career is kind of unfortunate too, because I think that he lost like 3 very important fights. The first fight with Sugar Ray Leonard, the fight with Marvin Hagler, and the fight with Iran Barkley. And it's like Thomas Hearns had a pattern in his career where, oh, I forgot to grab these clips too. He had a pattern in his career that I noticed where he would build up a ton of momentum, and then he would have a big fight, and then he would lose. And not only would he lose in devastating fashion. Like, he would get knocked out. And, you know, getting knocked out as a top fighter, it really does hurt your stock as a fighter. It's one thing to lose by decision. Losing by decision is one thing, but to get knocked out, it really hurts your stock as a fighter. And Thomas Hearns, when he lost, he always lost bad. You know, when he lost against Sugar Ray Leonard, Leonard had him like hanging out the ropes and shit. The referee had to stop it. I mean, he again just was beating the hell out of him. I mean, and it's crazy because Thomas was winning the fight, but he just, you know, he got, man, Sugar Ray Leonard was a warrior and just stayed in there and got good hits in and was able to take him out eventually. And then he had to fight against Marvin Hagler. The legendary war fight. And again, you know, that's one of the biggest fights in boxing history. I think it lasted that fight lasted, what, like 3 rounds or something? And Thomas Hearns got knocked out again. And he got knocked out bad. Marvin Hagler hit him so hard that Thomas Hearns like ran in the opposite direction. Not like he was like scared running, but he just hit him so hard that he didn't know where he was at, and he started running. he just started running, man. It was crazy. And then Marvin Hagler just pounced on him and knocked him out. And then he had that fight with Iran Barkley, and Thomas was winning. And then he was like pivoting around. He was pivoting around Iran, and he had his hands down, and Iran just straight hit him hard as hell. I think he put a hook. And then Thomas was like dazed, going down slow, and then Iran like hit him one more time as he was going down. And you know, my point is, it just always seemed like, hold up, all right, we're going back to the save room. But it just always seemed like he had that pattern where he would build up momentum, he would win fights, and he would reestablish this like intimidating aura within the boxing world, and then he would lose in devastating fashion, and then it's like his stock would fall. But he was definitely a beast. But I think the thing about Tommy was that he had one big weakness, and that was not having a chin. that was his big weakness, is that he did not have a chin. He could not take a hit. And really, Sugar Ray Leonard was the first one to expose that. Oh shit. All right, so next we're going to clear the upper hall. Do I have enough space to grab everything? We'll see. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Oh, blew his arm off. Yeah. That's how you know I'm a veteran. I know better than to walk over their corpse. You know, damn, that got me thinking too. That got me thinking. I wonder, like, who thought of the idea of the zombie falling but still being alive and being able to grab your foot and bite your leg. I wonder who thought of that. Because that's such a good idea when you think about it. Because when you're talking about like slow moving zombies, like how do you make them a threat? How do you make them a threat to a player who controls a character who can, you know, run and move a lot faster than the primary enemies of the game? So you gotta be creative. And I gotta give them so much credit for the little things they did like that. You know, making the zombies be able to fall and drop before actually being dead. Okay. I took no risk there. I said I'm taking them out. Wait, is he actually dead? Dude. What the fuck? What the what the fuck, man? Cause I remember last time when I killed him and came back out, it was a zombie out there, and I was surprised by it. I was like, wait, didn't I just kill him? Why are there? I don't get it. Why are there two zombies there? I thought maybe that even though I blew his head off, it didn't, like, maybe because I went in the room before his body hit the ground. Maybe the game didn't register that he was dead. You know, kind of like the thing with the spider boss. But that happened last time, but I managed to catch him before he was able to grab me. I don't know. Tis very strange, but shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, like I was talking about, man, the creativity of the developers to make the zombies a threat, given their limited speed and mobility. So, okay, how do we actually make these slow, simple enemies a threat? and them falling and you not knowing they're dead and getting bit in the leg, it's pretty good. Not only that, but also the other thing you notice, I talked about it before, but enemy placement, where they put the zombies at, putting them like in spots where you might just run right into them. Like that's why they put the one guy right here, right? And they weren't completely unfair because they put him where you could see him if you were paying attention. Because if they put him like here, that would have been unfair. Because the second you get there, he's got you. So they put it in the right spot where it's like as long as you're paying attention, you can see him. But if you're just running around rushing, then he'll get you, and rightfully so. And like I said before, I really like the addition of the faster zombies, but I think they were kind of underutilized, to be honest. Then you have the projectile zombies too. Okay, let me see. Clear upper. Yeah, okay. Just trying to make sure I got the right things I'm gonna need. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. This game has great sound effects, even in the menu. Boink, 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 boink. Okay, so next we are going to go for the gas trap and the shield. Uh-oh. Oh, nice. Ah. But just real quick, I'm gonna check out this room. I can't help myself. I keep thinking there's something important in here. And really it's just a botany book. Damn, nothing. Yeah, I can't accept it. I can't accept there's nothing in here. Yep, I gotta face facts. Man, this first key gets a lot of mileage. Okay. I just remembered too that old horror game series, Clock Tower. Now that's a very interesting series. Quite different from games like this. If I'm not mistaken, I think Clock Tower is one of damn, you know what? Now that I think about it though, I was just hold on, let me look at what I'm doing. I got that, and then let me see. Okay, Richard. But yeah, I was talking so much about how Resident Evil was like one of the first like proper survival horror games, but really, I think Clock Tower came before Resident Evil
Richard,
because
what
that
happened?
was a Super Nintendo game. I gotta look up the year it came out, but I'm pretty sure it came out
Chill.
before Resident
This
Evil.
house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Well, so now we're gonna save our boy Richard. But yeah, very interesting. I forgot all about Clock Tower, and I'm pretty sure it came out before Resident Evil, and it's a proper survival horror game for sure. The only thing about it is that there's pretty much no combat. You know, Clock Tower has always been more about avoiding the enemy. It's not the type of game where you go around like with guns killing demons or something. Oh damn, fantastic. But yeah, it's not the kind of game where you go around killing a bunch of different enemies or anything like that. Typically you just want to run and hide, and oh shit, you gotta find like you know, items to solve puzzles, you know, keys to doors, or oh shit. I'm lucky he was a vomiter, huh? Yeah, I don't bother with him. Okay, we're gonna kill this dog too. Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. But that dog, I already knew he had the potential to be kind of a nuisance anyway, though, because just the angle he attacks from, he comes through the window and then he runs straight and kind of out of the way, and then you got to get in position to shoot him once he comes towards you. And then there's like the stairs in the way and shit like that. It's kind of an awkward position, actually. That's why you saw me like kind of back into it. I was just trying to figure out like what would be the best way to activate the dog popping into the window, jumping through the window, and then me being able to position myself in the best place to get him. But I completely fucked that up. I've had some bad luck so far. Not bad luck. I ain't gonna say bad luck. I've fucked up. Let's be real. I've fucked up a few times. I've taken quite a bit of unnecessary damage, but I'm not too worried about it because I tend to have more than enough HP. I mean, healing items to deal with. Oh, great. I tend to have more than enough HP to deal with, I mean, healing items to deal with minor setbacks like that. So I'm not really too worried about it, but you know, you do want to avoid it as much as you can. I'll go ahead and knock that down while I'm here too. But yeah, Clock Tower is a very interesting survival horror game because the way it plays is very much like the lone female survivor portion of a movie where you're playing as a young lady and you're being chased around by a serial killer or something. that's pretty much how the first game was. You're this young girl who's in a mansion. I think she was on a bus with some other females,
Here's the serum.
and
Richard,
the bus broke
hold
down,
on.
or they were visiting
I'll
the
give you a
mansion or
shot
something,
now.
and then
Jill, here's my radio.
they all start going missing,
You should
and then
keep
you end up
it.
by yourself, and you got to find them,
I'm-
and then you get attacked by this
No!
guy, this serial
Richard!
killer, who
Jill,
wields a giant pair of
careful.
scissors. Clip. Let me see. All right, let's go clear this back room. That's always satisfying. Oh, you know what? I forgot the fucking lighter. I forgot the lighter, man. I forgot the lighter. You know what? I'm gonna just go back and grab it. I'm not gonna break sequence at all. I'm gonna just go grab it and just come back and get it. It'll be a bit of time lost, but this isn't a speed run, so I just gotta make sure I pay better attention. You know, that's kind of the issue when you try to do commentary while also playing the game. That's why I notice some people, they'll do commentary after completing their runs, because it can be difficult. But the good thing is it's not that far away. It's right here. I can just grab it, get right back to work. Okay, put this back. Okay, let's go. I would love to see a lot of those old survival horror games come back though, especially like Silent Hill. Silent Hill, man, really fell the fuck off. Silent Hill fell off in a big way. They haven't made a respectable game in so long. I think 4 was like the last taste of glory. I think, but there was another one that got like a little praise, I think, but that's about it. I've heard people discussing like why they don't release like a remaster or something of the classic trilogy. And they said it got something to do with the fact that they erased the source data or something. So they don't have the files and the data necessary to do a proper remaster or something like that. Like they would have to completely remake the game basically. And you know, fans really want something like that because those games are so rare and hard to find. You know, they're some of the most expensive rare games on the market. You know, they tend to go for anything, for anywhere from about $50 to $100, man, which is steep for an old ass PS2 game. So next we are going to okay. Now we're going back to the save room. Oh, I never went through this way. But I ain't even gonna lie, Clock Tower is actually pretty scary. It's pretty scary because you can't defend yourself for the most part. Like you can use like certain environmental items to like temporarily get the killer off of you, but that's about it. It's mostly just hiding and staying out of his way. And games like survival horror games like that do tend to be scarier. I can't even front. Not even gonna front with you. As much as I like the action-packed ones like these, I know exactly what it is. Okay, let me see. Now, okay, I'm gonna go get the crest and then go to the piano room. But I think Clock Tower would be an interesting game to see make a comeback for sure. I think it could work in this era of games. You put the proper budget behind it, you know, because you look at how well received something like Amnesia was. You know, a survival horror game with more of an emphasis on puzzle solving and stealth rather than combat. I mean, that's pretty much what Clock Tower always was. So that kind of formula can work. Not saying it would be like a AAA title. Maybe it would be released under like limited conditions, like Blair Witch or something like that. But wait, did I ever pick up the thing over here? Oh, okay. I think once I use this key on the piano room door, that's gonna be the last time that it's used. Oh no, it's this is a lockpick door. Okay. Oh shit. And there we go. right, so next. Oh yeah. Place the shield, grab the gem. Okay. Oh, went the wrong way. All right, now we're going back to the save room on the left side of the mansion. Some people were talking about the Thing game that came out quite a few years ago. And they were talking about how like the game was like too ambitious. Particularly because of the like sanity and trust system that they tried to put into the game. But in the end ended up not even mattering very much. See, the Thing game, if you don't know, the Thing is a sci-fi movie about like this alien creature that is able to kill and replicate living organisms. So it basically survives by killing you and then taking over your identity. Kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, except the Body Snatchers couldn't like transform. Let me see here. What is this here? Okay. Great. Okay. Had to make sure. We got in an Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the alien would just take over your identity, pretty much. It didn't have any like special powers for the most part. I thought maybe I'd get hit there. Okay. But overall, not too bad. Oh, and we got more space. But yeah, the Thing can actually like, after it kills and replicates you and takes over your identity, it can like transform into like these like alien monstrosities and shit. You know, tentacles and giant teeth, 4 arms, 6 legs. But in the movie, there was this, you know, the big theme in the movie was about trust and trying to figure out like who was real and who was an alien, because it was just hard to tell because they would replicate you with near perfection, and they would have your memories as well. So obviously it's hard to deal with, you know, an alien invasion that can do things like that. So of course the game tried to incorporate those elements into the gameplay. Oh, damn, that's nice. I'm gonna kill this guy over here too real quick. So of course you can't fault them for trying to do that. I mean, that was a major part of the movie. You know, can you trust the person that's next to you, or are they actually an alien. So in the game, you would have partners. You would have NPCs that would that could tag along with you and work alongside you to, kill the aliens. But the thing is, you just like the movies, your partners could be already replicated and actually be aliens. And so if you trust the wrong team member, they might turn on you right when you have your back turned. They'll transform, and when they transform, they turn into like a more fairly powerful type of alien. Let me see. Okay, yeah. The itchy tasty room. But yeah, the whole trust system in that game was kind of interesting because, like, just for example, it wasn't just whether or not you trusted them. It wasn't just about whether or not you trusted them. Your teammates needed to trust you too. Because if they didn't trust you, they would, even if they were human, they would turn on you and like shoot you to death. So like if you started shooting your teammates, that would make them think that you were an alien and they would try to kill you. So it's pretty cool. It was some cool concepts there. Okay, let's go back here because we got to make room for that crest and the herbs that are in that room. Also, if you gave guns and ammunition to your partners, they would trust you more. You know, they had like a trust meter. It's a whole trust system in the game. And just like in the movie, there's a way to see if the people with you are actually aliens. You know, there's a blood testing kit. Because the aliens don't like heat. The aliens are weak to fire. So if you're infected, well, not infected, but I guess that's not the right word. But if you've been replicated and you're actually an alien, then every cell in your body operates according to the same the same way that the alien works. So if you're actually an alien, all they have to do is draw some of your blood and expose it to heat, and the blood will react. The blood will react just like if you had, put a lighter up to a bug or something. So that was the way of knowing if somebody was actually an alien or not. At least in the first movie, you take their blood and expose it to heat. If the blood reacts to it, then they're an alien. If the blood doesn't react to it, then, they're a human. And so in the game, you have like these blood testing kits that are able to draw blood and expose it to heat. And that way you're able to know if any of your teammates are actually aliens. But I think using the kit on somebody that wasn't an alien would actually lower their trust. And of course, if you used the kit on somebody who was an alien, their blood would react, exposing them as an alien, and then they would attack. They would transform then attack. Now, see, I say all this because it sounds cool, right? All this shit sounds real cool. Okay, I'm going to the save room, and then I'm gonna get ready, and then it's gonna be the yawn fight again. So yeah, all of these little mechanics sound cool, right? Like, okay, that's a lot to play with. You know, make sure, keep everybody's trust high and this and that, right? But as you play the game, what you begin to realize is that you don't really have a lot of control over what happens as far as like the fate of your partners and shit. The game is actually heavily scripted. The game is heavily scripted as far as like who's gonna hold up, let me see. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not fighting him, so but I will take the shotgun just in case. Just in case, I'll take the shotgun. This should be enough, right? 3 healing items. Yeah, that should be enough. That should be more than enough. But just in case. We've been through some shit, so. But yeah, as you play the game, you figure out the game is heavily scripted. So you don't really have as much control over the fate of your partners as you think, because the game leads you to believe that, you know, these little minor interactions with your partner, you know, giving them ammo and making sure their trust is high and trying to always root out who's the alien. Like, it makes you think that all these decisions are important, but it's really not. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, had to remember. Yeah, it makes you think that trying to, you know, do all the, you know, play along with the little game mechanics is important, but it's not. Most of that shit is scripted. Like, I forgot exactly like how you expose it, but I think like there will be certain moments where it's like you'll have a partner, right? And then you'll give them the blood test, and then it comes up negative, right? That they're not infected or they're not an alien. But then they would come to a point where they would transform anyway. And so you're like, wait a minute, I just tested this guy and he tested negative for being an alien, right? But then you'll hit a key point and he'll transform and turn on you anyway. And that's what I mean by the game is heavily scripted. Like, the game pretty much is already decided like who's gonna transform and who's gonna transform and not. And a lot of your partners ended up dying anyway. So it's like there's very little point in getting like so invested in the nuances of the game mechanics. At least as far as like the whole trust system. Well, at least I got that fight down to a science. I just go ahead and accept the hit. One thing I realized with that fight is that
Am I poisoned?
if you get hit at all, you
Give
get
me the
poisoned.
serum.
The only way to avoid this cutscene is to not get hit at all. You got to completely avoid getting hit. Because you get hit, it's instant poison. Like, it's not a chance. It's just you're going to get poisoned. But it's not a bad thing because you get teleported to the save room, basically. And that's where you want to be. That's exactly where you want to be anyway.
Barry. Barry?
But yeah, that whole thing with the thing game and its game mechanics, it's disappointing. It's honestly disappointing because when they break everything down to you in the beginning, it does seem like it all seems so significant, like, oh man, it's legitimately just a cool idea overall. And you feel like you have so much control, right? And you got, I got to be so careful. I got to take care of my teammates and this, that, and the third. But in reality, it's really not. You don't have much control over any of the outcomes. Like, I remember I was watching this one Let's Player play the game. I forgot her name, but it was a very, very comfy playthrough of the game. And she was playing it, and just like me, just like other people who play that game, like, she was learning the little game mechanics about the trust system and the blood test and all that. And you could tell she was getting so excited, like, oh man, this is so cool. And while I'm watching it, like, I kind of felt bittersweet about it. I was like, she's gonna find out. I was like, she's so excited, and because she doesn't know better. She doesn't know that a lot of this shit don't even matter. It's really just pointless game mechanics that don't matter in the end. Seriously. And then, I think as she was playing it, she was starting to realize it. But then some of the people in the comments were telling her, like, that, yeah, a lot of the little systems in the game, as far as like how you interact with your partners, a lot of that shit don't matter. It's heavily scripted. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. You can't really prevent or save many. You can't really prevent or save a lot of your partners from either getting killed or transforming. And looking back, I kind of understand why the game was like that. I mean, it's obvious why they put those little mechanics in the game in the first place. Again, it was to make it closer to the actual movies. Because that was a big part of the movies, teamwork, but also not knowing who you could trust. Not knowing exactly who you can trust, and having to make sure that your partners and the people around you could trust you. That was a big part of the movie, so it made sense why they tried to make that part of the game. But looking at the game, I think the issue is this, right? In the game, your partners have different classes. I think there was medic, engineer, and soldier. And one of the most important types of partners that you could have were the engineers, because without the engineer, you couldn't make progress sometimes. So there were certain parts in the game where you just absolutely had to have an engineer. So imagine if you have your engineer, but he ends up getting killed or something, right? Right. And I think in the game, if you're on a stage, if you're on a stage where you need a particular class, typically it's the engineer. It's gonna be the engineer though. If you're on a stage where you need an engineer and he dies, I think it's like an instant game over or something. But then you got to think about that, right? It's like okay, well, do you give him just one engineer for like the whole game or for like big chunks of the game? But then if that's the case, then how would that engineer ever become a threat as far as like turning into an alien, you know?
This is Brad. Stars Alpha Team. Please respond. What the hell? Is nobody out there?
Brad, this is Jill.
This is Brad. Stars Alpha Team. Bravo Team. It doesn't matter. Anybody answer me. This is
Brad? Brad!
Oh, okay. So basically what it seemed like to me, oh hold up, I'm gonna do a quick cut here.